Welcome to the Defining Moments for Internet Marketers WSO special offer. I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered what your internet marketing mentors were doing when they were struggling just like you and I? You know, before they become the polished after effect that we currently see, before they were making millions of dollars, when they were at home or when they were just in the beginnings and trying to figure out how they tackle this thing that we call internet marketing. Well, now you can get the answers to those questions in our Defining Moments for Internet Marketers series. Before I go forward, I would like to share with you something that Jason Fladlin, one of my mentors and someone that I respect tremendously, and a fellow Warrior Forum, and really kind of got his start here on the Warrior Forum, had to say about the interview that I recently did with him. These were Jason's exact words. As someone who has done over 100 plus interviews in my life, most of them are so boring these days that I have to answer the same old question over and over and over again. See, I like Seth's style because he threw so many new questions at me, which really made me think and in turn raised my game to provide a very high quality content. Jason. Now, I don't read that to impress you, but to impress upon you that this is not your typical, same old interview series. I've done my absolute best to go above and beyond and really push these internet superstars to give me the answers that that you and I have really wanted to know in the past. Now, today I would like to share with you a few clips from the first Defining Moments interview that I'm releasing here at the Warrior Forum, and it's none other than the legend John Carlton. Now, if you're not familiar with John, I encourage you to Google him. I could go on and on here, but I'll just say that he is truly a living legend and transcends what a lot of people might call him a copywriter, when in truth he is a marketing and specifically an internet marketing legend. Now, see, right now I would like to share with you what John has to say.
It was just a way to reach other people. So when the web came along as a viable way to reach large numbers of people, I just hopped in that saddle as fast as possible. Because I didn't regard it as magic. I didn't regard it as anything that was going to need drastic changes in the way I approached crafting a sales message. Because basically, Seth, the philosophy of the old school classic salesman run along the lines of nothing has really changed in the way one human being sells something to another human being since the dawn of time. As I like to say, since the first caveman traded up to a cave with a better view in exchange for a slab of mastodon beef. So the fundamentals of a sales message are what is important. What is not important, or as important, is how that message is delivered. So the web is merely a combination of radio, television, direct mail, print, everything on steroids that reaches a much, much wider audience. And so it's just it is a technological wonder, and it was great, but those of us in marketing just recognized it very early on as a vehicle, a medium to reach more people with a classic sales message.
Now take a listen to one of John's first defining moments in his life.
Couch, and I literally had a copy of Think and Grow Rich fall into my lap. I recognized the book, not because I'd heard about it before, but I recognized it. I'm not sure how. There was something happened that it just literally appeared to me. I picked it up and I read just a few sentences of it, and I realized this was something I was going to devour, and I devoured that. And that became my entry into the critical change in my life. I was still sleeping on a couch, still living out of my car, still not having any idea of who I was or what I wanted to do or anything. And what happened was that book gave me this critical concept, which was that I didn't realize before that moment that I could actually want something, that I could say, you know what, I want this, whether it was a boat, a house on the ocean, a family life, a job, a business, anything. I didn't realize, a novel that I'd written. I didn't realize that I could want something, then plan to go get it, and then put that plan into action and actually achieve it. It just was. It wasn't something that was in my head. There was no concept of that, and that was like a lightning bolt that came down. And what happened after that was, in quick succession, I took one last job, settled down in Los Angeles, actually living on the beach, actually, and took one last job as a
Now, I took John on a journey from when he first started, even as a child, all the way to his current days in marketing. And listen to as John shares about a recent moment in one of the super high-end mastermind groups that he belongs to.
The broader way of looking at that, and I just spent all weekend in a very high-powered mastermind in Phoenix with some very, very high-end marketers, including the guys who had invented the video sales letters, and were testing this stuff.
Okay.
So it's, I think the broader way, I will answer your specific question, but the broader thing to realize is that the web right now is everybody's heard this. We're, as far as marketing online is in the Wild West stage. It's in the stage where there are no rules, really. We're making the rules as we go. And a lot of the processes that are being developed, such as launches, video sales letters, things like that. Excuse me, I have to drink some water.
Yeah, go for it, man.
A lot of these things that are being invented now seem like they make perfect sense because they work, but they may morph a bit as we go along, because the guys have literally made them up from nothing, from scraps of information, or maybe they're bringing some ideas from old school marketing offline, they're bringing them online, they're doing things. But the way I put it at this meeting, it made a lot of sense to guys who had been confused about things. We're sort of in the period like the turn of the last century, back around 1900, when they had finally conquered the idea of an airplane, so they could get vehicles into the air and they would fly. But there was a long period there where the vehicles that were going up and flying, the airplanes, didn't look like the way they were going to look very soon. By the end of World War I, we saw the biplanes and things that existed up until about World War II. In fact, there were biplanes into World War II, and then they went to the single wing, and then they went to jets.
Right.
So in that early period, they had triplanes, they had all kinds of weird things, because they were trying all this different stuff. They were still flying, but it hadn't yet taken the form of the most aerodynamic, cost efficient, safe, being able to function in multiple situations, everything from, working in war to delivering the mail over high mountains and being able to have, so none of that, it was, and that's where we're at with the web. The stuff that we see going here is very much like those early airplanes, that they're doing the job, but they may not look like they will in a couple of years, or maybe even at the end of this year, or maybe in a few more years, as bigger corporations come on, as the nature of the way the web is consumed moves along.
As you can see, John is really a genius. I had such a great time and a fun time interviewing him, and his wisdom is beyond even his years. It's unbelievable the amount of information he was able to share with me during our 90 minutes together. Now, right now, I do encourage you to scroll down below and take a look at the incredible bonuses that you're eligible to receive today as a Warrior Forum member. Now, of course, understand that this $7 offer is something that will not be available in the future, and it's something that I truly believe is such an amazing, amazing value. Specifically, if you'll look at the bonuses I'm giving away, the bonuses themselves are worth much more than the cost of this WSO. And again, please scroll down, take a look at the bonuses. Understand that you get the full 90-minute audio, as well as the transcripts, as well as the nerd report, the My Note Taking Nerd cheat sheet report, which many are telling me is worth much more than the cost of this as well. And we are also giving away the 6-part copywriting, amazing graphically displayed process maps. So again, I encourage you and thank you so much for watching this video.